Hello, thank you for participating in this Campus Security Authority training for Porterville College. Before we get into the legal requirements for the college in reporting safety and security, I wanted to give you a little background on the Clery Act. The Clery Act is based on incidents that occurred to a freshman, Jane Clery, at her residence hall in 1986. A perpetrator who was another student who she did not know raped and murdered her in her residence hall. This led to a national awareness campaign of campus crimes, and it led to the Jane Clery Act. So you may be wondering, okay, so we have this act, and what does it mean for me? So basically, the Jane Clery Act is a series of disclosures that the campuses of higher institution are required to comply with to disclose security information and statistics that occur in their surrounding areas. So what is required by the Clery Act? It's required that we publish an annual campus security report. The college does that every October at the beginning of the year. This information includes statistics in various categories of crimes that have occurred for the prior year. In addition, it's a requirement that the campus have timely notification of crimes to prevent unsafe conditions, In addition, it also requires that we keep an up-to-date log and report of all crimes that are committed. So which schools are required to comply? As I stated earlier, all institutions of higher education, post-secondary, so that would be your community colleges and your trade technical colleges and also your universities. Failure to comply with this act does result in punitive damages for an institution from the Department of Education. Okay, so outside of the security and the safety component, it does have ramifications for the college if we fail to be in compliance with the law. So let's talk about some of those distribution requirements and how we make the entire campus aware. Each year, as I mentioned earlier, we publish and produce a safety report, and I'll give you the address of that report later on so you can access it on the web. The report also is published in electronic format, and it's also emailed out to our campus. Okay, what does this report entail? It provides 3 years of crime statistics. In addition, it also gives you some information on what the campus is doing as a part of preventative services. Okay. So who are campus security authorities, or why did we ask you to participate in this training today? Campus security authorities are officials with significant responsibilities for student clubs and activities. There are also those individuals on the campus that are designated by administration to be a reporter for students or staff to go to if they experience or witness a crime. Okay. So here are a few examples of campus security authorities. We have a list that is on the web that will tell you exactly who are our campus security authorities that are designed especially for Porterville College. But generally, if you fall in one of these categories, you are a reporter, and you also have access with the students and staff to be able to help them through an incident. Okay. So I've defined what a campus security authority is. Now let's go into talking about your responsibilities and also how can we train you to make sure that you're prepared to handle an event. Okay. So basically your responsibilities are to encourage and to help assistants and students deal with a security emergency or report something that has occurred on campus. If there's an emergency situation, in the situation you should call 911 or you can call the security officer that's on at that time, and there's the number 559-310-2413. Okay. Additionally, there are reports that are out on the web that you can use to log the report after the incident has occurred. However, if you are in the middle of an emergency situation, please utilize these numbers to get help to resolve the situation. So what do you do after the crime has occurred? And which crimes need to be reported? Okay. You should report a crime whenever a victim or witness calls it to the attention of the proper authority. So that would be you as a campus security authority. If a student or faculty comes to you and brings to your attention that they have witnessed or have been assaulted, that will be required as a reportable incident. What crimes need to be reported? Okay. So now you know when you should report it, but what should you be reporting? Which ones are those that would need to be reported on for Clery purposes? Criminal homicide, sexual offenses, whether they're forcible or non-forcible, robbery, aggravated assault, burglary, motor vehicle theft, arson, and hate crimes. Okay? And if you need additional definitions of what these crimes are entailed, those definitions are in part of our campus annual security report. In the last section, you can get a definition on what is considered in these crimes. Also, another new initiative that has come out because of the legislation is Violence Against Women Act. And this is a new act that President Obama signed into law on March 7th of 2013. And what this law requires is that in addition to the 8 crimes mentioned above, colleges and universities are now required to report domestic violence, dating, and stalking crimes beyond those that are categories in the Clery Act that were already mandated. There's also definitions of what domestic violence is, what dating is, and what stalking is. And you can see that in our Clery report also. Additionally, as a requirement of this act, we are required to report hate crimes by type and by category. 2 new ones that were added because of the VAWA or the Violence Against Women Act is to have national origin and gender. Okay. We also report hate crimes by location, whether they're on campus. If we had a residence hall, we would have to report them that if they happen off campus at the residence hall, at non-campus properties, and also in public property. Okay. So for here at Porterville, it would be the on-campus crimes that we were reporting. Also, but if you hear or a student comes to you about non-campus activities that are going on or public activities, you also can be required to report those as well. At a game, on an event that a club goes to, out of town, or also at a convention or at just a club meeting that may take place on another campus. Okay. In relation to Clery crimes, it's also, I think I've mentioned this, that we have to report on those that occur in any of the following areas. Okay, that's the A through H that are listed there. Okay, alcohol, drug, and weapon offenses. Campuses must include 3 years of statistics and arrests for these areas. We also must report for persons not arrested but referred for campus disciplinary action. So we include this because we want you to know that we can only report on these offenses if they're being reported to us. And that's where you come in and are vital to our compliance and ability to meet the standards of the law. Disciplinary referrals that result in an arrest. Okay. If a disciplinary referral refers in an arrest, we also have to make a record of this, keep officials on campus aware, and make sure that if sanctions are incurred to the student, that we document those appropriately. Okay. I've mentioned this briefly on the prior slide, but in more detail. The Clery Act identifies 4 crime locations and categories that campuses need to collect and report statistics from. These categories include campus buildings, campus properties, dormitories, non-campus buildings, or public property. As I mentioned, we don't really have residence halls. However, some community colleges do, but so that wouldn't be as pertaining to us, but the other ones might. Okay, so a little bit more detail. What is considered on-campus or an on-campus property? Those are the buildings or property that the college specifically owns and controls. That may be here at Porterville College. It also may be events that may happen at Bakersfield or Saracoso College. So we do report on those that happen here on our colleges, but also Bakersfield and Saracoso will report on incidents that happen at theirs. So as a district, we also include and make sure that we're in compliance. It can also include property that the college owns but someone else controls. So there's some examples of that here. Dormitory and other student residences. This is just some information on what's needed to be reported. But as I mentioned, we do not have residences here. So it wouldn't be as applicable. However, other student residences also may be a location where there is a clearly reportable offense. Non-campus buildings or property. Campus must report crime statistics for any non-campus building or property owned or controlled by an official student organization. Okay. All right. Public property, including the streets, parking lots that lie in the campus or next to it. So that would be for us, if something was to occur on Main Street or College Avenue, we would also work with the appropriate individuals to make sure that we were reporting those incidents as well. Okay, this talks about our campus security report and our policy statement. And again, this information is in our annual report, so you can read more about it in detail there. We also have to inform prospective students and employees about the campus security report. So if anyone asks where the campus security report, if they're a new student coming in, or if they are a new employee that's looking to the campus, the annual campus security report is on our campus safety and security website. There also is a link on our admissions website and on our HR websites. So those prospective employees or students have access to this information. Okay, so notification of a timely manner of a threat to safety. So notification can be given in different formats: by voicemail, email, a call to work, a call to cell phones. Also, we want to basically make sure that we're able to have a timely response to prevent someone else from getting harmed. So for here at Porterville College, you may get a PC alert call to your phone at your desk or in your classroom. You also, if you have not opted out, you can get an email and a voice message to your cell phone. In addition, depending on the situation, you may have another alert that comes over our SureTel phones in the classroom. So, and we test these regularly each semester to make sure that they're complying, that they're working, and that the campus knows what our emergency voicemails and notifications are. Okay. Okay. This talks about our daily log and report that we have to do for crimes. It tells you some of the requirements there, the date, the time, the location of the crime. We also have a form that is on our safety and security website that will help you to relog and detail the report so that we can gather that information to make sure that it's included on our online log. Okay. I want to thank you for participating and listening to this Campus Safety Authority training. I also wanted to give you some websites and some additional information in case you're wanting to know more. Again, this is the website link to the safety and security page here at Porterville College. In addition to that, the security on campus, that's a website, a link to a website that goes directly to the Clery Center, where you can get more information and details, and you can see other webinars and other presentations on how to be compliant and how to be aware as a campus safety authority. Also, if there is an incident or something occurs on campus, I provided an email address for Ron Childers where you can email him and send him your reports. Also, I provided the safety and security mobile phone number that someone can respond to a request. I hope this presentation was helpful and will help you in helping to keep our campus safe. Thank you.